Is it a scheme that Todd set up to come to us with the BS? That is the question that we need to answer with at least two of these stories. Now, the first story we got to talk about is I don't know if it's Vanity Fair versus Bravo or if it's Bethany versus Bravo, but as I suspected, okay, there had been talk about a Vanity Fair article that was supposed to be an expose of sorts into the, I guess, behind the scenes goings on of Bravo and, in particular, the Housewives franchise. I had the general sense that this article would be released this week because BravoCon is happening this weekend. All right. So, just to make sure that you guys know, all this is alleged. Everything's alleged. Even your life is alleged. But let's get into the tea of it all. All right. So, I don't know if you guys follow Bethany Frankel like that online. And we're going to talk about a couple of other housewives as well. But she posted, this was the first place that I saw it when I opened up my Instagram. And the article is called A House Divided Inside the Real Housewives Reckoning That's Rocking Bravo. And it reads amid disturbing allegations, Bethany Frankel's calls for a union and a whole lot of drinking. Um, Reality TV's most popular stars are facing their demons. The story is by Anna Peel. Okay. And then we have photos of some of the women who participated in this particular expose. Now, one of those women being Bethany Frankel, another one being Leah McSweeney from the Real Housewives of New York, circa seasons, 12 and 13, as well as Ebony K. Williams, who was also featured on the Real Housewives of New York. I don't know if excuse me if I said Atlanta or another city at the beginning with Leah, but Leah started on New York seasons 12 through 13, and then Ebony 13 in New York, and then Leah also ultimately did Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip season 3. All right, so she talks about all of those experiences. However, I'm going to read to you guys a little bit of an excerpt from Bethany's Instagram caption. She says, as the writer of the story told me, this piece is one small corner of the story. The story is a drop of poison in a large ocean. The reality reckoning is here. SAG-AFTRA has our backs. Now, that, for those of you guys who don't know, is the Union for Actors. Multi-billion-dollar media and entertainment company leaders have reached out to me to work towards change. Bravo is not one of those entities. Now, this is important because Bravo is really the place where Bethany actually really kind of made a name for herself. So she's literally calling them out. This story is about Bravo, she says, a polluted environment profiting from women's mistakes and misery, and a network that abuses them nightly with games and questions designed to ruin their lives while making the masters of this universe rich and famous. Now I feel like she's definitely pointing some fingers here. Chime in the chat at who she's pointing at. Anyway, she says, many women whom this reckoning protects have spoken out against it or acted like they know nothing about it, choosing fame and money over women's rights. Many women have the courage to support this movement silently, and others publicly. They are afraid. They know what they have done and perpetuate is wrong, but the high is too strong, and the dealer keeps dealing the stuff in stronger and more dangerous doses. Many women are deafeningly silent closer to the top of the gravy train by being obedient. This is a cult where women are brainwashed to believe they have special relationships with leaders in exchange for rewards, often resulting in demotion and punishment for misbehavior, a dynamic making the cult leaders powerful and untouchable. This article refers to Andy Cohen as the boss and daddy to these women. Ironically, the way these women are paid and the way the contracts are executed renders this a not legal workplace. Would your boss or father allow or support this behavior in your best interest as a child or employee? As we approach BravoCon, the event that epitomizes, culminates, and capitalizes on this toxicity, We should think about the content and entertainment we consume and support. I will be diving into this movement in greater detail on my podcast, Just Be with Bethany and Rewives Bethany podcast all week. Okay. So here she she pretty much lays it out flat for the people. Okay. And if you were confused about the level of support that this article is reaching, is getting with regards to former housewives, one need take no other look than at our girl Ebony K. Williams. She says, if you're silent about your pain, they'll kill you and say you enjoyed it. Zora Neale Hurston. Okay. Vanity Fair gives a glimpse of the reality behind Real Housewives of New York season 13. I speak publicly for the first time about the details and extent of the anti-Blackness, N-word use, and racial hostility I endured alongside the show's Black crew members. Now, I will tell you, when you read this article, and I listen, I read it. It took me, it's a long article. And I feel like a lot of it covers, because the housewives in really who are featured and who were bold enough to really speak out, I guess, for me, they mostly come from the New York housewives. And then there are some others there who are described, but we're not necessarily told who they are. So my question to you is, have you read the article? Do you want to do a deeper dive on the article? I mean, it is very interesting. It's very scathing with regards to, there's instances where a housewife is described as waking up in her own urine after being, after a wild nights of drinking, and how they were encouraged to bring up, Sonia's sobriety in the midst of her continuously drinking. It's just a lot. I'm going to tell you, it's a lot to process. I haven't fully fleshed out my thoughts about it yet. In general, let me know what your thoughts are. I'll place the link in the description for your consumption. And now let's move on to a couple of other stories. Now, let's get into the scheme of it all, shall we? Now, I saw this pop off a few days ago, but I honestly had not had the chance to really cover it because there was so much Basketball Wives news. There was also so much to do with like Love and Marriage Huntsville, and I had a sponsorship that I had to take care of. So it was a lot going on. Okay. Now, I know that a lot of you guys recall last week when we talked about Robyn saying she believes that something happened, okay, in this Chris Bassett story and these allegations of this mistress because of the receipts provided. Now, we talked about the irony of Robyn saying she believes these receipts, but she couldn't believe the receipt that her husband had allegedly signed for a hotel. She couldn't believe anything beyond what he told her. Why would this man sign for a hotel receipt for somebody he barely know? That don't make no sense to me. But you're gonna believe that was enough proof for you to believe something happened. Girl, get out of here. That's why she says she 100% don't care in her tagline. Anyway, see, this is probably the reason why I'm blocked. But anyway, Candiace says, if you would just shut the F up and worry about your boyfriends for hire, Gizelle, allegedly, and cheating husbands, you wouldn't have to post proof that you weren't behind yet another plot against someone's family. Once again, the people of God are tired. Now, from what I understand, it seems like Candace is saying you don't. Are they trying to post some proof that they wasn't, in on this scheme, or is that what she's saying? I'm trying to interpret it. You know what I'm saying? But she calling them out definitely. She didn't even have to post no ads on it because we already know. We already know who she's talking about. Chime down in the chatterization. I was waiting on this. I was like 5, 4, 3, 2. Candace is gonna respond. Okay, where is coming from? Where it at? Where it is? Oh, what's up? Every good girl. I don't know why that song stayed on my brain. Okay. Side note, I'll be placing a link in the description. I get a lot of questions from a lot of you guys sometimes in my emails. asking for advice about YouTube and other, things that relate to media and work and pivoting and life stuff. So, for those of you guys who would like to, get some good old advice, the help desk is now open. Click the link in the description and you can set up a time for a video consultation with me. Listen, I'm excited about it. I feel like my life's mission at this point in time is to help others. And so, by golly, let's get into it. Tap down in the link in the description and you guys can get in contact with me, okay, for a brief little session, baby. Now, let's move on to our final topic, okay? We have got to talk about this new preview that just came out for Married to Medicine, in which Fedra is, I'm assuming this is where she's introduced. Dr. Heavenly posted this clip. She says, our friend Fedra Parks needs no introduction. Wait, did she just check me? Almost forgot I've only been with one man. Relationship. So that's really not the point of this story for me. Now, of course, it says Fedra Parks, attorney / partner of the vault. So in this scene, you're seeing Dr. Jackie and you're seeing Dr. Heavenly supporting Fedra at what appears to be a sort of brick and mortar store front location where she sells clothes. I'm assuming this is maybe something that's similar to like Pressed, or whatever they call it. Now, that ain't even the newsworthy thing, okay? Let me see if I can go bring it up. The newsworthy thing to me is really, less about the fact that Fedra is introduced or any level of shade that she's throwing here, and really more so about the fact that it had been alleged that Fedra was dating a doctor, and that was how she was going to be, integrated into a show called Married to Medicine. However, and I'm just checking the footage right now because I want to get it to the point in the footage where I can actually show you exactly why I'm upset today. And I was upset yesterday when I saw it because to me, it don't make no sense. I feel like if you're going to introduce Fedra on this show, for me, let's just say Fedra's coming to Married to Medicine. Like, I believe she also has she's some type of certified healer or something to that degree. So to be honest with you, that should have just been it in my opinion. But this idea that she's dating this doctor, and then when they show him on the screen, they are covering his face with a cartoon smiley face. Now, see, to me, that's why it's given. I got questions here. She talking about this man that healed her heart or whatever like that, but he can't be shown on the TV screen. That don't make no sense to me. Like, I had a feeling that it was going to be some shenanigans going on with Fedra coming on to this show, but I just felt like I had hope for, maybe she's going to really give us something in the way of her personal life. In a way that she did not do on Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. And, I just kind of feel like for a show called Married to Medicine, like, let's just be real here. You ain't married to medicine. You know what I'm saying? And I like Fedra. I don't even feel like you need to have this little quasi introduction because, in my opinion, it feels disingenuous, right? So anyway, I'm trying to let this scene play out so I don't play it on the camera. Okay, so now, thank you for sticking around with me while I got to it, because here he is. Now, I'm going to need somebody down to the Bravo to explain this to me. How is we getting away with this? Houseway, how are we getting away with it? I am confused. I am befuddled. I am bewildered. I feel bamboozled. okay, to just take things to the next level. Let's take it on up. Let's take it on up. Let's take it on up. Bamboozled. I am. I is. I am he is me. Bamboozled. So anyway, y'all let me know y'all thoughts about this whole situation, and this whole cartoon face right here of said alleged doctor, and how y'all gonna feel about it come Sunday when they throw this in our faces. I would rather them simply say, yo, we want Fedra back, so we're gonna bring her into Married to Medicine. She's some type of healer, so there you go, modern medicine. Call it a day. Because this right here, this ain't it, friend. This is not it.